There we go. Hello, everybody. I'm Michelle Werdeman, and I know it says I am the famous Lisa Dooley, but she is not here today. She's busy with a client, so she asked me if I could come on here and facilitate. We are going to have a really great lunch and learn here with our guest, Jennifer Sandisfago. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes, you did great.
Good. I'll just start really quickly. First, tell you about a couple of things that we do have coming up with the network. So our next event after today is just a focus group. We're gonna break into smaller groups. That's gonna be on Earth Day, which is April 22nd. And the theme there is how do you keep your business sustainable? So we're gonna share some tips and kind of best practices in small groups. And then after that, we'll have Monday, it's May 6th, which is Tuesday. It's the morning mixer and it's a real estate roundtable. So we're going to have a few of our real estate experts kind of go into what's happening in the real estate world because things are crazy. So they're each going to kind of dive into different aspects there. Then let's see, we'll give everybody an opportunity to introduce themselves. If we can keep it to like 30 seconds, 1 minute tops, just to be kind of respectful of everybody. That would be great. And let's see, I have to take a picture of us. I'll give it a couple minutes to see if anybody jumps on. But so today we have Jennifer Sandisfago with us. She is a certified personal trainer and group fitness instructor who took her business online. And I'm sure she'll go into more details, but she is going to share with us some things that we can use for our mind, our body, and our core to kind of just get past the winter and get ready for the summer. So, and we joked it's kind of like the spring cleaning of our brains and our, rather than our house. But and we thought this was a good idea, piggybacking after our call we had with Dr. Bonnie last month. So, as Lisa would say, I'll go ahead in the order of my Brady Bunch screen. And let's see. Okay, Dad. So, screenshot for my phone. You think is the best way?
No,
not for my phone. I was going to use Snippet. Is
that's fine? Yeah, I know last time Lisa did it with her phone, and I was like, Lisa, that's just not the best way to do it.
Okay, so let me do the snippet here. All right, so I look like that. Everybody's frozen, but whatever. Okay. Woo. All good. As I'm like looking down, I'm like, anyhow.
Well, you can do another one with other people join.
Yes, that's true. Because we're supposed to have at least about, I think, 5 or so more people joining. But Pam, if you want to start and introduce yourself, and you can take it away.
Yep, I'll be real quick. As all of you know, I retired on 12/31/2020 from my second career as a financial advisor, certified financial planner. I am so far enjoying my time and got my first COVID shot. Can't wait to get the second and hopefully start to do things that my husband and I really want to do in our retirement, including travel, if that will ever happen. So even though I am retired from what I'm doing, I open up any calls, questions. If you have anything that you want to ask about, financial planning, especially retirement planning, you don't understand a terminology or anything, feel free to reach out to me. I'm still licensed and, I'm not practicing, but I can certainly answer questions and happy to do it.
Awesome. Thank you, Pam. Lynn?
Can you skip me? I'm still trying to connect that person. Okay.
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
Did she get the information that I posted?
No, and she can't find it, and I'm trying to find.
There she is. There she is. She's coming in now.
Oh, here she
good.
is.
Okay.
Unless that's the other Allison.
All right, so we'll come back to you.
Okay.
There she is. There's Allison Johnson right there. She's here.
Okay.
Dr. Bonnie.
Unmute myself. Hi. I'm eating lunch. Is that okay for a lunch and learn?
Yeah,
I'm trying to eat
absolutely.
lunch.
Absolutely.
Is that
Mhm.
okay? Okay,
We
good.
won't be
I don't wanna be
offended if you
rude,
start
but yeah.
chomping.
I'll try not to smack. I'll eat with my mouth closed. I am Dr. Bonnie Wims. I'm a counseling psychologist. And in 2012, I took my business online because I had foresight and I knew the pandemic was coming. Not just lucky, really lucky. So I provide therapy virtually. I work mostly through Zoom. And I love it because I feel like I can be much more flexible with my available hours. I work evenings and weekends. The coveted Sunday appointment even happens. And I also think I'm more affordable. So I'm trying to bring therapy to people, just make it a more accessible thing that isn't such a difficult process for people.
Great. And if anybody missed it, Dr. Bonnie actually did our last event last month, which was super successful, offered some really great insight into kind of the emotional state that people have been in. You can check that out on the YouTube channel.
Thank
All
you.
right. Lynn, are you good? Except for me.
That was, I'll tell you, kind of crazy there for a few minutes, but okay. Thank you, Lisa. Hello, everyone. I'm Lynn Feingold, Virtual Assistant Boston. I have 30 years of experience in executive administrative support, community outreach, creative promotions, copywriting, grant writing, event planning, promotional strategies, managing social media. I help busy people. So I like to say to small businesses and solopreneurs, bring me your chaos. Lynn Feingold, Virtual Assistant Boston. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Deb.
Hello, everybody. I keep wanting to say good morning, but it's not morning anymore, is it? My name is Deb Gaisel. I am the owner of Message Artist, which is a boutique branding and marketing and content creation company. And we serve small businesses, nonprofits. And these days, I'm actually focused on seeking actively to promote one of my new services, which is book marketing. So launching a book. So anybody who may be looking at that process or somewhere in that process, I'd love to have an introduction, or actually even be introduced if you know book coaches or editors, publishers, those types of folks. That would be super helpful. And the other thing I'm ramping up on is my monthly marketing services. So keep in touch with the people you need to keep in touch with, emails, blogs, newsletters, social media. So those are going to be, businesses who are going steady, have, a lot on their plate, but aren't going to necessarily hire an in-house marketing person. So lawyers, real estate agents, financial advisors, medical professionals, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's what I'm up to.
Awesome. Thank you. And before I forget, feel free to put any information into the chat. So the name of your business, if you're looking for anything that you want to share, because I will save that. I'm going to try to remember to do that. So that will be up on YouTube as well. All right, Jennifer, I know you're our guest speaker, but do you want to kind of introduce yourself real quick?
Yes, of course. Hi, everyone. I'm excited to be here with you all today. My name is Jennifer Santos Bago, and I'm the creator of Dreams to Reality. I'm on a mission to bring health and wellness to as many people as I can by helping people discover a deeper sense of themselves through my virtual and in-person group and one-on-one fitness memberships for adults, kids, and also through my custom life coaching and corporate wellness training program. So if anyone has any questions after, let me know. I'm always happy to connect.
And I can be a testimonial for her morning classes. They're phenomenal.
I saw, Deb, I got the email. Were you like the member highlight of, was it last month?
Yeah, her last email. Yeah.
That was awesome. Thank you, Jennifer. Sheila?
Okay, hi, Sheila Barber Home Inspections, and my husband and I run our company right out of Weymouth. It's a 2-person team. That's it. No other employees. So yeah, we are looking for people that want to buy a home, I know the equation is more sellers, more sellers, more sellers. So once we get there, I mean, we're busy, but yes, we can help with any home inspection services. Reach out. And then, you know, if you get in your home and they're saying to forfeit the home inspection before getting into it, but that's not the best idea. But if that does happen, we're here. Thanks, Sheila Barber, Barber Home Inspections.
Awesome. Thank you. Lori?
Hello, everyone. My name is Lori Medeiros. I'm with Residential Mortgage Services. I'm a licensed loan officer in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, and happy to service anyone who needs to purchase a home or refinance. If you haven't yet taken advantage of the great rates, please reach out to me, or if you know anyone that hasn't, before they go higher. They are expected to go a little higher over the summer. So just reach out if you need any mortgage assistance. Thanks.
Great. Thank you. Allison?
Everybody, I'm Allison Johnson, and my company is an Improved You, and I represent Neora products, which are holistic anti-aging skincare, wellness, and hair care products. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks. Alana?
Hi, I'm Alana Thompson. I'm a real estate agent. I'm based out of Lakeville, but I cover all of Plymouth County and Bristol County and other areas if needed. And I am concentrating on helping sellers take advantage of the seller's market right now. I'll take buyers. Buyers are great. They're fun to work with. But the market right now, it's definitely need more people to sell their homes so that we can keep the transactions happening.
Awesome. Thanks. So again, real quick, so I'm Michelle Werdeman. I'm filling in for Lisa today. She's busy with a client. I am the founder of Mind Balance Wellness Living. I'm a certified life, weight, and career coach. And my focus is on working with middle-aged women that have a hard time dealing with difficult emotions that they'll turn to food or drinking or even shopping, if you will. And over the last 12 months, this has really become a problem for a lot of people. So I developed, it's an 8-week program on how to get your groove back, which I'm super excited about. And really it's kind of to get yourself unstuck, whether it's in your career or, just your mental overall wellness, relationships. It's to kind of get back, get your groove back. So that's what I do. And I'm going to try to take a picture again, now that we have some more people, and hopefully this time I'm not staring off into the other screen. Okay, so let's do this. All right, ready? Everybody smile. Perfect. Okay, so without further ado, I will turn it over to Jennifer. So Jennifer, take it away.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. So again, definitely a pleasure to be here. I'm very grateful to meet more faces, get digging around. So I'm thinking like, yeah, spring is here. It's not really around the corner anymore. So spring cleaning, I like, dialogue with my presentation. So feel free to jump in. Let's all, create that atmosphere of connection and understanding together, right? So first, a couple of thought prompts, like think about spring cleaning. What are like some of the first couple of like words or fears even that come to mind when you think about like, all right, time to spring clean the house, right? For me, I would have to say like overwhelming. Like sometimes you just sort of look around and you're like, all right, there's so much to do. And then it's like, where do you get started? And then the thought of like having to go through all that work, effort, that sort of thing. But then usually if you push yourself, you get through it at the end, it feels pretty rewarding. So just keep in mind, like, as I'm talking here, what sort of things come to mind when you think of spring cleaning your house, right? And now let's sort of translate that thinking into our mind, our body, and our core. Think about like your mind feeling cluttered up, or maybe your body like through the holidays. If you're like me, we tend to like overindulge, and then you're like, okay, maybe I should have not had that extra piece of pumpkin pie. And then also too, when it comes, to the core, and then think about what are some words that come to mind when you think of what would our core be? Like, Is that like the core, like our soul? Is that our, gut, maybe our nutrition health, things like that. And so let's start to break everything down because, like, again, with thinking of spring cleaning, it gets overwhelming when you're just like, oh, I have to think of all these different things to do. So if we just break them down into the mind, the body, and the core, separate them, and we just sort of work through each piece one by one, it can really help us to take on the tasks of spring cleaning every day without feeling like overwhelmed, right? So finding ways to just do a little bit here, a little bit there, and then eventually you'll see the big full picture of results. So I'm going to throw out a couple of prompts, and then I do, like I said, appreciate dialogue, so you guys can sort of jump in. Maybe we can come up with a system as we go along. But so how often do you think an overwhelming amount of thoughts versus meditate or spend time meditating?
I'm just laughing, Jen. Because I think I meditate for about 13 minutes at max. And of course, the rest of the day is spent, with, oh my God, the list.
The to-do list. My to-do list is 4 pages long. And like my son notices, Mom, it's always 4 pages long because every time you cross something off, you add something on.
Something else on, I know.
Yeah, does anyone else have any thoughts they want to share?
Yeah, I do meditation. I try to do it every morning, kind of before the craziness starts. And that's when I do like my journaling and stuff, but it's out of the whole day, I'd say it's max 30 minutes of just kind of like brain work that I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much time would you suggest that you spend with an overwhelming amount of thoughts during the day?
A lot less than I used to. So I think before I kind of did all that practice in the morning, it was a good part of the day where I was just like, wait a minute, like I felt like I had so much to do that I wouldn't do anything.
Yes.
So it was just, yeah, it's gotten better though.
Nice.
Still room for improvement.
Of course, of course. Is there anyone else that wants to share any thoughts that came to mind?
I would say because I'm recently retired and I have more time on my hands, I definitely spend more time ruminating over stupid stuff.
Rumination, good word, I love it.
I think that for me, it's the end of the day that I try to prepare for the next day and think about, what my accomplishments were that day, but then also think, okay, tomorrow ahead of me, I have this. And it seems overwhelming, but if I chunk it out into, pieces, it's easier.
Yeah, compartmentalizing. Yeah, that definitely helps. Anyone else?
I'll say something. I went, got a nice list going for Easter. Like, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do that. My husband must have read it, but it was left like on the chair because he didn't ask me like we're always like when we're going out the door, it's like, what goes here? What goes there? What goes there? So he must have read it, but I was like, I thought he was supposed to take it with him because he was going to pick some stuff up, but I guess it worked. But I'm like, after all this effort, you know what I mean? But now that I think about it, it did go pretty smoothly. I was thinking, why did I write that list? now that I think about it today, I guess it did work.
Yeah, lists can be very helpful. They can help or hinder. Has anyone ever made the to-do list and then put it off to the side and then like found it a week later and been like, oh. Sometimes I find that writing out the to-do list takes it off your mind and then you can sort of let it slip your mind sometimes. So
I use to-do lists a lot, and this is going to sound even crazier. If I do something that wasn't on the list, I put it on the list and cross it out to make myself feel better.
Oh, Pam, we all do that. We all do that.
Like I accomplished more. I've done that all my life, though.
nice. I love that. Yeah. So
Hey,
just like,
you earned that badge. You earned that badge, Pam.
I've redone my to-do list so to sort of make them shorter or like combine things together and then it looks like, oh, okay, I only have 4 things to do instead of 10. So it's sort of fun to learn, as I go around and meet people and talk with them. It's really fun to learn all the different similarities that we all have. We're all faced with different details of challenges. Like we can all talk about these different details, but it's all underlying the same concept. So it's really fun to connect at this core level. So is there anyone else that wanted to share just in terms of meditation versus overwhelming thoughts? Okay, so we'll go on and we're going to compare and contrast. So how do you feel when you're feeling anxious and overwhelmed versus calm and relaxed? Like, what are those physical sort of feelings that can come up into your body? So let's take it one at a time, of course. Let's start with feeling anxious and overwhelmed. Like when you're in that space with a lot to do and you have that giant list and you're thinking of your schedule and how you have like barely any time to fit it in and when are you going to sleep and eat and all these other sorts of important things. Like what are those sort of physical feelings that are coming up for people? Like for example, for me, I know that sometimes I'll get like a racing heart if I'm feeling like really anxious about something, or sometimes I just get that sort of like really tight, kind of like crunching feeling into the center of me where I just sort of feel like I want to like just kind of curl up into a ball, maybe even. So does anyone have any like physical experiences that they go through when they're feeling that sort of way that they want to share? Yes.
Al, is it me?
Yep. Sorry, I couldn't see your name.
So breathe heavy. Like I might take some extra breaths or things like that. Like let it out or whatever. That's what I'll tend to do.
Ah, nice. Okay. Well, that's a great release.
Phil.
Yep.
Sheila, are you saying to me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I can't tell. Yeah, so I feel like major tension, like right when you were just saying that, like this whole list, so then everything shuts down. Like I have to start back over. I'm like, oh, okay. It's not good. Yeah, it's not good to get through. It's like it's just frozen, and then it's almost like procrastination kind of feeling, you know what I mean? Like push, and then it's exhaustion.
That's a great way. That's a great example. Exhaustion is definitely a key word. I like to hear that. So that definitely is something I think we can all across the board attest to. Like when you're feeling that anxious and overwhelming feeling, it takes more energy out of your body, actually. Anyone else want to share?
I get really
angry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I can't tell.
Michelle, go ahead.
Sure. So I'll get really like tight chest pains and then a stomach ache.
Yes.
Those are usually my two common ones.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say the exhaustion for me, and then like Sheila, the anxiety, which then of course makes you feel like you have to like, I'll catch myself almost not breathing, like I'm breathing so shallow that I have to force myself to stop and like take several really deep breaths to ground and just get, try to lessen that feeling.
Yes, that makes sense.
I don't want to be around anybody when it happens.
Great point. And a lot of times we are, though, unfortunately, and then we know how that goes. So some great points were brought up in terms of the breathing. Shallow breathing usually can occur. What's real interesting that I'm not sure how many of you guys already know this, but when you come under that level of stress, your immune system shuts down. And that's where you start to feel those symptoms or those ailments around in your body. So those signs and symptoms are what we need to be paying attention to and sort of counterbalancing, right? So if for example, if you realize like shallow breathing, taking a couple of deep breaths in is something that helps to relax or relieve that tightness and tension. So it's interesting to learn the differences between now, if we compare that when we're calm and relaxed. So how would you guys describe the feelings of calm and relaxed? Yeah, Liz.
I don't know those feelings.
Oh, I love that honesty. That's perfect. You're in the perfect place for that today then.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I felt that way.
Okay, I like that. Sharing honestly is helpful. Anyone else?
I think when you know, at least for me, when I'm feeling calm and relaxed, it really feels, I feel more empowered. I feel like, oh, I can manage this. And even when the, you know, to-do list is long, I'm not panicked about it, you know, like it's like, okay, all right, I look at it and it's like, all right, I'm going to get this done today. This will get done tomorrow. Like, you know, and I can figure it out. Whereas I think that's part of the problem when you're in the anxiety place, you, or at least I, have a very difficult time figuring out how to proceed or change it or shift it. Whereas if you're coming at it from, a, you know, your day or whatever, from a more calm place, like the problem solving is easier.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel much more efficient when I'm calm. Sometimes when I'm anxious about things, I will feel paralyzed. And I haven't felt that way in years, but when I was divorcing, which was a long process for me 18 years ago, I remember talking with people about it and saying, it's like I'm paralyzed. It's like I can't do anything. But I've learned that it's important to do one thing at least, right? So I had a week recently where I had to meet with my SCORE mentor. I had to meet with my accountant. I had to meet with my financial planner, and I had to, you know, file my taxes. It was all happening in 1 week, and I couldn't wait for that week to be over because it was one after another. But yeah, but I got it done by just tackling one thing at a time and only thinking about one thing at a time.
Perfect. Great examples. Anyone else want to share? You guys can sort of just jump in. That's working. Okay, so how can we incorporate meditation and goal setting into our everyday lifestyle? So I asked that question and then urge you to think of feasible ways, because it's easy to say, oh, I'll set aside some time and I'll have this like separate meditation hour. And then I'll tell you from experience that becomes a chore. You do it for a few weeks, it works, and then it becomes sort of like, all right, I have to do this. And then that can sort of conflict with, you know, the day-to-day stuff coming up. So feasible times during your day where you're already doing something else anyways, but you can incorporate meditation. What are some examples? Anyone have any ideas?
Yeah. So funny things. I used to, years ago, I taught yoga for like a decade and practiced for longer than that. And, you know, and still never really had a good at-home meditation practice. And having more conversations with people who do, one of the things, and participating in a meditation study in an attempt to get myself to regularly meditate, I did walk away with some things. And one of the things that really helped me, because I'm the type of person who, I'm like all or nothing, right? So if I'm going to practice yoga, I feel like it's got to be a 60-minute minimum practice, and you're going, and like, which doesn't even make sense if you know the yoga tenets. Like, that's completely opposite of what they say. So one of the things in that I was taught, have been doing recently, but I would like to start up again, it's kind of like you set a couple little alarms. And so that way, if you're at your desk, you know, in your schedule, you may or may not have to adjust the times on a daily basis, but like you pick 2 times and it's literally a minute, and you just close your eyes and you breathe deep for a minute, or 3 minutes. If you can manage 3, like that's like, you know, it's a little break, but it's amazing what that break will do for you in the day. Like you're at your desk or you're washing dishes or like whatever, but you take 3 minutes and that's all you're doing is you're breathing. And you can make washing dishes meditative. Like you don't have to think about washing dishes, right? You know, unlike if you're working. But that was one of the takeaways that kind of got me past, you know, the idea that a little bit of something is so much better consistently than doing nothing and, you know, meditating for 30 minutes or 60 minutes once a month or something, you know.
Exactly. That was a great suggestion. The dishwashing, doing it washing while you're washing dishes or while you're at work at your desk. Any other suggestions or times during the day you could think that, hey, maybe I could do a little meditation during this time?
So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Calm app, but that's what got me into meditation about 4 years ago. It's an amazing app that, I mean, it's grown to, they have like bedtime stories, they have music that you can do, like focus music, relax music. It's just all about kind of, you know, mindfulness. And But I started same thing, like just a couple minutes, and I have little reminders throughout my day. And one of the things I realized was like my breathing I was doing wrong. Like I used to think, like we were talking about like the, you know, the shallow breathing versus like kind of like the belly breathing. When I would take deep breaths, I was using my chest and it was only making it worse. So this app has kind of helped me learn how to properly breathe. And yeah, it's been like life-changing over the last 4 years since I kind of developed this little practice. Highly recommend it.
Literally called Calm.
Yeah, it's Calm. Yep.
I love that app, the Calm app. It's a great app.
I'll
Yeah.
have to check it out again. When I first tried it, I don't know, maybe I was into an anxiety place, but I could not figure it out. I was like, I don't understand how this works. And so I've been using the Insight timer, but that's more, I mean, they've got a lot of guided meditations and things, but I don't tend to be a guided meditation person. So I just use the timer, but I'll have to check out the Calm because I've heard other people say
It's so good. And you know what's funny? My husband jokes because a couple of years ago when I started to do the bedtime stories, so they have different people that have like these awesome voices, you know, telling bedtime stories. He came in once, he's like, why do I hear Matthew McConaughey's voice? I was like, because he's telling me a bedtime story.
Yeah.
I was like, mind your business. Yeah, so it's great. Check it out.
I've actually found that just where'd everybody go? I've
we can see
actually
you.
oh yeah, no, I know this kind of screen got really weird. I've actually found like being in the car and then those tense moments when someone's like on the back of you and it's like, you know what, you can go around me, just like if you're in passing, just go ahead around me. I am not doing this. So I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna just go into the calm mode instead of this anxious, you know, like I gotta go get them. And so then I just watch them go and I'm like, see you later. You know, I used to be like, I'm gonna, you know, I'm like, see you later. And I'm like, oh shoot, now I'm back up against them. You know, like how far did they get? Like, I'm like done with trying to, you know, fight on the road. It's so much nicer.
Makes sense. Any other suggestions? So we have like dishwashing, driving in the car, when you're at your desk, utilizing apps like the Calm app. Any other suggestions?
Well, I have my meditation expert right here with me right now. You know, I find that the cats love Zoom because they'll hear me talking and they'll come into the room to find out what's going on and they'll jump up, and I almost always have a cat in my lap when I'm at my desk. So it's kind of nice.
Oh, nice.
Recommend it.
So maybe like every time the cat jumps up, then it's like, oh, meditation time. It's time to focus. That's great. Anyone else want to share?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think it's really, you know, we talk about being present and mindful. I mean, that's really what meditation is. It's trying to get you in your present moment. So you can really make anything. I'm notoriously bad at this, but you know, even eating, like when I was doing that meditation study, I was telling you, like we had a meal where nobody talked. It was literally, you were so present. You were just really enjoying what you were eating and the experience of it. And it was really amazing to think about, you know, all the things we do. How present could we be, from, you know, taking a shower, getting ready in the morning, like it's a care, you know, thing. And I say this because I need to hear it as well. You know, but it's like, rather than always thinking about what's next, you know, it's like, that's what we have our to-do list. Like you said, Jennifer, put the stuff down, get it out of your head, and then be present about whatever you're doing. And it takes a lot of practice.
Yeah, so that's exactly a great point, because that's exactly why I bring it up in the same sort of sentence even, but the same prompt, you know, because when you're thinking about like the anxious, overwhelmed, thinking a lot, like that all just sort of lines up, right? That's what's going on when we're in that state of being mentally, right? And then there's this other side where we're calm, we're more relaxed. We tend to be a little bit more in that present moment, checking in, seeing how we're feeling. Are we hungry? Are we tired? Are we thirsty? You know, have we moved enough, or have we moved too much? You know, that's really what that's about, is just being aware of what we need. And then the signs, symptoms, and the signals that are coming to us, being like, really what for me like connecting into the mind or spring cleaning out the mind is more about, you know, sort of realizing that there's like this room, there's that room, there's a benefit to the anxiety and overwhelming feeling, because it really can fire you up, right? You get a lot of like energy. And if you put that, a lot of energy that you're getting to good use in that particular moment, like by accomplishing tasks, at least when you're exhausted after that, it's for good reason. What sometimes can happen, right, is that we'll get exhausted, but then we didn't really take any physical action. So now we're mentally exhausted, but we're not really a step ahead. And that's where we can get that sort of setback feeling, right? So that's what I like to focus on there, is like, let's just uncover what's really going on and then start to use these different aspects as tools. So I never try to avoid anxiety or try to avoid feeling overwhelmed. I just know when I get there, I got a lot to do and I better get it done. That's where my mind goes. And then when I'm in that calm, more relaxed state, it's usually as a result of me accomplishing some tasks. Now I'm free in my mind. I can think, hey, what fun thing do I want to do now to fill this gap of time, rather than, I don't know if anyone's ever seen that TED Talks, but if you put in TED Talks procrastination or the procrastination monkey, it's a great quick little, like, I think 20-minute clip, and it talks about how procrastination, people who procrastinate are geniuses. So check that out if you want to feel a positive note to your procrastination. Also, you know, keeping in mind that how we can incorporate the meditation, really that could be like, you know, waking up right before you get out of bed, take a couple minutes to stretch, check in with yourself, forget what you have to get up and do, just think about like what you need right in that very instant to feel great about getting up and doing what you have to do. And then of course there's like, you know, getting ready in the morning. You can be sort of in your head. I mean, if you have kids or, you know, stuff going on or an excess in your background, I know that that could be challenging. But then once you can get that settled, maybe it's, you know, right when you sit down at work, maybe you take the first 10 minutes and give it to yourself, and then give more to what you have to work on. Or, you know, doing dishes, or maybe you're just like realizing like, wow, I've been holding my breath this last hour working on this assignment or this project, and maybe I should just take a sec, push myself away from my desk, and, you know, give myself a little love here. Dishes, cooking dinner is a great time right before going to bed. I'm a big fan of that Calm app. I put that Calm app on in the background, and that's how I fall asleep at night. Otherwise, my mind will go, oh, I could do this and I could do that, or I could create this, or what about if I looked up that, or, you know, so definitely having something to distract me in times when I know for sure that my mind's gonna go. And I'm thinking that sharing all these thoughts and information, you know, with each other, that we can sort of benefit and find ways to take the action, because that's really how we're going to get the results. So before we move on to the body, is there any final ideas, thoughts, questions, or anything about the mind that anyone has? We good? Okay. So moving on to the body. This is my, this is the best question always to ask. How often do you work out? I know Deb. I know Deb's workout life. But so how often do you guys work out?
Still not enough, Jennifer.
Don't worry, we got a good start going though. We got a good start. Yep.
I try to work just twice a week, like weight bearing exercises. And then I also try to ride a stationary bike like 3 times a week. So I'm up to about 6 miles on my bike now.
Oh, wow, nice. And then, oh, that's great. So, so on average, 5 days a week, 2 days you're doing training.
5. Some of the days, yeah, I'll do that as my cardio when I do the weight.
Oh, perfect.
So.
Okay, got it. Makes sense. Yep. Perfect. Anyone else want to share how often they work out? Don't be shy.
I go for a long walk about every 3 or 4, you know, days, or rather 3 or 4 times a week, I should say, not 3 or 4 days, like every other day. You know, I'm if the weather's good, I'm out there walking.
Perfect. Anyone else?
Yeah, I try to do like at least 3 days. Now that my kids are back at school, that should pick up to hopefully 4.
Nice. Is there anyone who does not work out?
I do not work out. I don't work out. I hate just exercising. If I do anything, and it has to be another activity that just happens to have some benefit to it, but I can't just like go to a gym and work out or get on a treadmill.
Gotcha.
Can't.
Yep. Is there anyone else who experiences that similar, or just hasn't found a way to incorporate? Because sometimes it's more about like scheduling, like we just haven't found the time to incorporate it.
That's a
I'm
hard
with
thing, but
Alana.
yeah, I was gonna say, Alana, like I can't tell you how many times I've joined a gym and I've had great intentions, but when it comes right down to it, I'm honest, I don't like the gym. I don't like the environment. I don't like really almost anything about it. I haven't since I was much younger. So I'm finding that the best way for me to do it, like, you know, I joined and did Jennifer's classes. I found I wasn't where I am now in my life. I was not doing it for myself. I needed a live person. I couldn't do a recorded class because I have recorded classes. I've got all sorts of recorded exercise classes, not doing it. So I know I needed some more of that, but like really what it comes down to is I have to do the things that I enjoy. And like, I like walking in the woods. So I go for hikes. I like being outside. I love yoga classes, but I haven't been to a yoga studio since the pandemic began. And unfortunately, I've tried the same thing. I have at least 10 classes paid for, but because the schedule isn't right and I can't attend a live class, I keep missing it. Yep. You know, so I just acknowledge where that little weaknesses of my own right now.
Good to share. Anyone else want to share how often they work out, or just admit that they don't work out?
I did much better pre-COVID.
Did you?
Yeah, we went to the gym on a regular basis, did pool exercises, but I won't go back to the gym for a while. The locker room especially. And if you're going to go into swimming, if you go in the swimming pool, you have to go in the locker room. And yeah, the locker rooms are just, I'm just nervous about going in there. So I'm thinking about joining another gym, but and I did buy a new bike and it's set up on a trainer in my house. And I get on that maybe 2 or 3 times a week to get ready for the spring and summer riding, but definitely not doing enough.
Nice.
Gotta get back into the weight bearing and, you know, get rid of this flab.
Yeah, it's challenging with, you know, with COVID and different people have different, you know, sort of ideas or thoughts about that, like going to the gym versus not going to the gym, and like the, you know, safety concerns, which of course makes sense. And then also too, it's like, it's change, it's new. And if you're used to doing things one particular way, it's like finding another way to get it done. Or maybe like, you know, as I have to, I'm so blind. Is it Alana? Alana, yeah. So like Alana shared, you know, like she just doesn't like working out. So there's also that as well. So let's all quickly go over how we feel when we're working out versus not working out. So for people who just don't work out, then they might have to sort of think back to a time when you were like real active, or maybe you played a sport or something. And then just let's all sort of process through. Oh, and also too for me, so I'm working out anywhere from 15 to 25 hours a week. And just to share with you guys, so that definitely has helped me through COVID, I find, because staying active and moving around, so I've been sort of confined to my house, like a lot of us have, has been very, I think, even mentally useful for me. So, but yeah, so moving on to how do we feel when we're working out versus not working out?
Oh, a million times better when I work out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely.
I agree.
Yeah, it does. It lifts your mood.
Yeah.
It makes your body feel, I mean, you know, and Jennifer knows I'm dealing with some old injuries I'm trying to get past. And I find that if I move, even if it's a little challenging or if I have to modify it, I still feel better afterwards than if I hadn't. Like the discomfort can either be alleviated or very much mitigated, for sure. And mentally, it's really awesome.
Yeah. Mentally, it's a lot. You're so much more alert afterwards.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed.
And then I want to eat better. I usually will eat better when I work out.
I like that you made that connection. That's great. Anyone else want to share? What about how we feel when we, like, if we haven't worked out? Anyone want to share those sorts of feelings?
Logie.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Just sort of
Guilty.
guilty. Ah, I love it.
Yeah, guilty. Yeah, yeah.
Guilty is a good one. I love that.
I think it makes, at least for me, if it's like a cycle, you kind of get on the apathy treadmill,
Yep.
and I feel like the longer you're away from it, it's easier to go, whatever. I mean, even if you're not feeling great, like you make it into this big thing in your head, and it's really not,
Exactly. So how can we incorporate working out into our everyday movements? So this is sort of, again, like keeping aside the sort of easy, we can just go to the gym for an hour. But what are ways that you can incorporate working out into what you're already doing for that day? Like your just typical day-to-day schedule.
You can dance while you do housework.
Love it. Yes.
I put music on.
Yes.
Yes.
Love it.
My son cringes, but I'm like, woo!
I always say, what do I always say, Deb? Don't be shy. Don't be afraid to stick your glutes out. Like, you just gotta glutes, shake them around.
It's true. It's true.
Do you have suggestions for people who sit the majority of the day? So I have a very, my job is very busy right now, and I could literally sit for 12 hours except to go to the bathroom. And I'm noticing it since I've started tracking my steps and realizing how sedentary I am. So what would you suggest for someone who sits most of the day?
Oh, great question. So she's jumping all the way ahead. So pretty shortly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries. Pretty shortly, we're all going to actually jump into action. I'm an accountability coach, so we learn and then we get right to work. So great that you brought up that question, and I'm actually going to have us all do a mini workout, and it's a seated workout, and you're more than welcome to reach out to me after, and I'd be happy to sort of write it up for you if you wanted it as a reminder.
Okay.
And Lori, I'll say too, like when I was working in my corporate office, and you'd be sitting all day, and even here, I'm finding it's not as good as what Jennifer's going to suggest, but like I have tasked myself to drink so much water, and what that does at a minimum is it does get me up to go to the bathroom more frequently, which you then realize, whoa, like how stiff you start to get because you're just sitting. So like even that task of getting up, refilling the bottle, like and just using the bathroom, like that's it seems crazy that can count, but when you're sitting all day, like I'm in front of my computer too all day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lori, when I was working, and again, my job as a financial advisor was very sedentary, probably very similar to what you do. But what I would do is when I was on meetings, whether they were internal meetings, but phone calls I'm talking about, is I would have my headset on and I would walk. I would pace my office back and forth. And even when I was working from home during COVID, I did the same thing. And while I was doing that, I would also do some stretching. And I didn't feel like I was taking anything away from listening to what my clients were saying or what I was doing. And if I felt like I was, then I'd sit right back down. But that helped. And then I also, even in my office my corporate office, before we went home, I had hand weights underneath my desk. And I would once in a while just pick up those hand weights, probably once a day, and just do some, bicep curls and, arm exercises mostly. Because you can do those while you're on a Zoom meeting or whether you're on a conference call or anything with what you don't want to be somebody looking at you while you're doing arm exercises, but you can it helps with toning. So stretching and toning and pacing is what I did just to get up and move.
Perfect.
Those are great ideas.
Great ideas. Yep. Anyone else want to throw out some ideas?
I have, can you guys hear me? I noticed something about myself when I moved, because I used to live in a city where I walked a ton, and then I moved back to Boston, and just became, you know, get in your car, park in the parking space as close to the door as you could, use the elevator, not the stairs. Like all these things, they just started to happen, and they accumulated over months of, you know, became weight gain. And then I have some back issues from an old surgery. So that got stiffer. And it was so interesting that it wasn't exercise so much as it was moving. And so I just have that in my mind every day. It's if I could use the stairs, I use the stairs. If I purposely, I live in Manhattan now, I picked a library that's a mile away. So when I go pick up my book or drop off a book, I have to walk that. It's just little strategies every single day that I think, oh, should I take the elevator? No, I'll take the stairs. You know, just little things to make me move.
Perfect. Yeah, these are all great ideas. So, you know, just being mindful. So when it's coming, when we're thinking about like the spring cleaning side of our body, it's really assessing like how often are we working out? How do we feel when we're working out versus not working out? And then how can we incorporate that working out into our everyday movements? And, you know, these are all great examples of parking in the parking lot all the way the farthest spot you can find away instead of the closest spot, you know, walking if you have a store down the street, or, you know, if there's a library down the street, there's some sort of somewhere that you need to go, but it's like, oh, hey, I could walk that. I could walk it. And then maybe you just tell yourself to walk it that day. And then you feel a little bit better. And then you make that part of your plan. We are going to do a little mini seated workout here. So you will get an opportunity to, everyone will walk away with a way to work on your posture, grow your core muscles super strong, and keep the blood circulating while you're even just sitting at a desk. In my corporate wellness programs, I teach employees how they can be paid their entire year's salary while they get fit at work. And if their boss walked by, they wouldn't even know they were working out. So real fun. That's one of the little quirky corporate wellness program adventures I go on, teaching people how to just sit up really tall and squeeze into those stomach muscles. I probably should have actually started this presentation like that, like teach you guys the stomach holding technique. We would have gotten an hour worth of core muscles. So speaking of core, we're gonna move on to the core. I like to think of our core as our gut, it's our nutrition health. So I want to sort of turn the table to how often do you eat food that gives you energy? So now let's start processing like, well, if I eat, like for example, for me, if I eat, I'm Italian and I grew up in an Italian home with homemade pasta. If I eat pasta, we always eat it with bread. I don't know why Italians do that. But pasta and bread, I eat that meal and then I just feel like heavy. I literally feel heavy, tired, worn down. But if I have like an acai bowl in the morning with some fruit and, you know, maybe some like cacao nibs and some coconut flakes, I feel like wide awake, full of energy, ready to go. So how often are you guys eating food that gives you energy?
Do M&Ms count?
So I'd like
Dark chocolate.
I'd like to talk about this because so I, over the course of the pandemic since last August, have lost 33 pounds, and I'm feeling so much better about myself and so much healthier. And, you know, I'm feeling like my old self again. And it was a big mental shift for me as well. And how I did this was through Noom. And I highly recommend it as a structured program that's easy to follow. And basically just paying attention to what I'm eating has made such a huge difference in my life. Because what you eat is your fuel for the day. And if you eat junk, you'll get junk energy, and that's nothing. You know, I want to be able to be active for a lot longer. I mean, I'm 61. I want to be active when I'm 81, when I'm 91, you know? So I'm doing it now. So I'll be that person then.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Yeah. So to answer your question, you can say M&Ms, and then I'll bring up how, yes, you will get a energy rush from that, but then you also after will get that nice heavy crash. Has anyone ever experienced that where you sort of pile up on sugar and then you just crash right down? 2 hours
We
later.
have, is it okay if I go? I can't.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I don't want to cut anybody off. Yeah, we have this NutriBullet, and my husband, like I said, oh yeah, the store around the corner opened up, and it's called Revive, and Revive is what it is. You know what I mean? Like you're getting smoothies and fruit bowls and whatever when you go in there, and it was just like lines out the door. And I was like, oh, I really love the idea of the smoothie. And, you know, I like someone making it. So my husband got the NutriBullet, and he got it for my Christmas present. And I was like, that's nice. I didn't want, that's not what like my idea of a smoothie was, you know, like I like someone to make it and I walk out and I'm all done. But we're making them here, and it's just the most, it took a year. It's like, all right, I'll try it. And we love them, and we feel so good after it. It's like, wow, you know, just throw in what you want. You can throw in anything. Just like, if you know, you have leftover kale, whatnot, just little bits of it, and it's amazing what it does for you compared to that cookie. You know, it's like for me, I don't really get anything out of a cookie. I wish. I used to. Oh my gosh, loved it. Love those cookies, and the taste. I can't even taste them really anymore. It's just automatically look at it, and I already know where it's going to go, and I'm going to have to work at it to get off of me. So the smoothies are good.
Yeah, you bring up a good point when you talk about, like, of course, how you're feeling after. So incorporating smoothies, and then you're just feeling different. So that's sort of important to think about too. It's like, not only is it how often do you eat food that gives you energy, it's what type of food are you eating? Is that energy sustainable? How do you feel when you eat healthy versus unhealthy? So that was my next sort of prompt was, you know, like if we think about like eating the M&Ms or the cookies, like how do we feel in the long term? You know, like when we're eating the less healthy foods, and then when we're eating healthy foods, what sort of energy are we having? Is it sustainable? How long is it sustained? And you know, like for example, the smoothie versus like the cookies or something, right? Anyone have any thoughts or feedback on in terms of how you feel when you eat healthy versus unhealthy?
It's very obvious to me. I have a lot of food intolerances, so my diet's already like pretty restricted. So, you know, most junk food I can't eat at all. And I mean, I like chocolate, but I have to buy really like the expensive good dark chocolate, and which then is so rich that I only eat the smallest little piece of it. You know, like a serving in the bar is like, oh, 2 servings, and I'm like, we get 8 servings out of that thing because it's you know, it's a rich thing. But I do notice we made the other night, I don't know why I got it into my head, I wanted nachos. I haven't had nachos I don't even know how many years, because I can't eat them. So I had to come up with an alternative for the, you know, the actual corn chip and all this stuff. But afterwards I was like, even though I had good ingredients in it, it was such a heavy like meal. And I was like, oh, okay, this is why I don't eat this anymore. My husband's like, yeah, it's like, it's a pretty dense meal, even when you have to modify it, you know? And I was like, I'm good for the next however many years again. Like, I don't think I need that one again, you know? But yeah, and that's like, we love vegetables. And the same thing, like, you know, Sheila was talking about the smoothies. My husband, and I was just thinking, I got to get back on it too. He makes smoothies. He throws, oh my God, there's so many vegetables. It's like, it's just liquid salad, you know, plus some fruit. It's amazing. And he'll put some, you know, protein powder in it, like good protein powder, and off you go. But I'm like you, Sheila, I'm still on I want somebody to make it for me.
Yeah, that's true.
Sheila, I've been making fruit smoothies every morning for probably five or 6 years. And I, like you, Deb, I use a really good quality protein powder. I'm gluten-free, so it's hard to find things that are agreeable. But when I found out I was gluten-free, I had to cut out, unfortunately, Jennifer, all those Italian foods and the real pasta and the focaccia, my favorite. And, you know, pizza was really a tough thing to give up.
Oh, yeah.
But in certain vegetables I don't eat because of my condition I have. I don't eat any of what's called the nightshade vegetables. You know, peppers, white potatoes, eggplant, all stuff that I always loved. And you know what? Now, if I even have a bite of one accidentally, it's just not agreeable to me. And same thing with cakes and sugars and things like that. I taste a store-bought cake or, you know, a birthday cake, and I'll have like a little bite and I'm like, ugh, it just doesn't even taste good anymore. Like you said, Sheila, you know, it's just not appealing.
No.
When your body realizes that it doesn't like it, and that means you don't like it.
Yeah.
So
I just see like older people, like, you know, 80s, 90s, go for the donuts. And I think to myself, I can't even have that now. Is that going to be me? Like,
No.
you know, so many years from now? Like,
no,
I don't want the donut, but they eat it like it's in the fried food. It's like, you know what I mean? Heaps. I just can't tolerate it. It's good, but I'm like moderation, not the donuts.
Well,
But
what's
fried food
challenging
here and there.
Right.
I think what's challenging, you know, and I'm blessed and I'm super grateful that, you know, we can afford to buy organic and we can afford to eat tons of vegetables. And if, you know, we eat meat, but it's high quality. We don't, like most of the name brand meats, we don't buy at all. Like we're getting our meat. We have a meat CSA actually is how we're getting the majority of it. But it makes me crazy to think about how many people are trying to feed their families, and it's just cheaper to buy the less quality, the more processed, you know, food. And I mean, I think about my grandparents who are long gone at this point, but like they had very little money at the end of their lives, and they would buy like just like, you know, the fish sticks with the breading and all that. Like they would buy these things, or the chicken croquettes and such processed foods, but it was cheaper and easier for them.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, it's so sad because they'd pick up the same thing. I remember them picking up the Entenmann's donuts. They'd have a box of that, you know, but it was so inexpensive. And I think that's a big challenge for a lot of people, especially if you're trying to feed, you know, a family that, you know, kids, they eat a lot.
Definitely a great point. Like, how can we incorporate eating food that gives us energy into our everyday meals when it is more expensive? Typically, you know, finding ways to, you know, sort of work in the means of our budget, finding, you know, like you may have to like spend a little bit more time looking for sales or shopping around at different stores, but then all these things take up our time, right? And then that sort of goes back to adding to the stress. And then it's like, well, there's, you know, the fast food chains all along every stretch of any, you know, main road, highway. So that sort of makes it seem like it would be easier. I definitely would love to I could spend tons of time on that topic. I would love to. However, I'm also starting to realize that we probably maybe took up most of our meeting time on our presentation. So hopefully I'm not overstepping my boundaries too far. In the dialogue aspect of presentations, it usually can take a lot longer, of course, because everyone's sharing their thoughts and stuff. But it's also, in my opinion, a lot more rewarding. So I hope we're all gaining something from this. And just to sort of wrap around to the conclusion. So of course, like our homes, our mind, our body, and our core can also too get cluttered up. And just like how spring cleaning our homes can feel like overwhelming, you know, so can spring cleaning our mind, our body, and our core. So we really explored ways today that we can do that a little bit in each way, each day. And compartmentalizing each aspect, that's really what's going to help, right? And then a way to also help to have it feel a lot less overwhelming and more beneficial is when you take things and incorporate it into your already day-to-day stuff. So for example, I love the example of dancing while you're cleaning. Like, you know, you could mop or sweep, or you can like mop and sweep and like slide across your floor and be silly with it. Bring out the child. If you do have children at home, they will think you're nuts, and that's okay. Mine think I'm nuts. So also people don't realize, but just ways to release stress and anxiety, like let out those big sighs of breath singing. I don't know if anyone sings in the shower, put on some music. You don't have to be a professional. You're the only one hearing you. And if, again, you have family members, like, oh, well, at least you just let them know I'm releasing stress. I feel better. And, you know, there's really no better time to do your spring cleaning than like now. Why are we procrastinating, right? So I'm going to walk us through a mini meditation and then a mini workout. I'm just going to readjust my situation here so that you guys can maybe see me a little better. I don't know how to make this work I only know how to make it work from a teaching perspective. Give me one sec. You'll have to be able to see. Yeah. You know what? We're going to go teach mode. All right. So welcome to my studio.
Deb, do you want to put it so that we only see her? Can we all do that?
If we put it on speaker view,
Yeah, let's do the view.
Block it on speaker
You
view.
can do it from your computer. So if you just click on view
Tap on it.
Yeah. View.
and then do speaker view, you'll just see her.
Yeah,
Then when I talk, I'll just be the one to pop up. So
that helps.
give you guys a better angle.
and then we all should mute ourselves because otherwise it keeps popping through. So.
Oh,
Okay, yeah. So once I'm the only one talking, I should be the one that pops up. And then we're gonna sit grounded into our feet. We're gonna kind of combine our meditation with our mini workout. So rolling your shoulders back and down, planting into your heels, making sure that your heels are right underneath your knees and your knees are shooting straight out from wherever your hips are. Take that big deep breath in, exhale. Relax your shoulders down. Don't be shy for all on you. Just release all that extra air out nice and forcefully. So first, we're going to focus on how our body's feeling, sending your shoulders down, lifting up tall through your spine, reaching up long through the back side of your neck. Relax your palms right onto your thighs. Press deep into your heels, squeezing the energy in all of your muscles from your heels all the way up to the top of your head. Find all of those muscles, chest, back, glutes especially. That's my favorite place to work when I'm seated. And now let's really focus on our breath. So if you feel comfortable, take a moment, close your eyes. We're going to work on taking that big deep breath in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then exhale it out, pressing out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Again, that deep breath in. You'll notice I'm counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then on that exhale, I'm counting 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Again, deep breath in, counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it there for 2, 1, and then exhale out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If your eyes were closed, you can go ahead and slowly open them, take a little look around. Even in that short 3 rounds of breath, maybe you've noticed that you feel a little bit less stressed, a little bit more full of energy. And now we're going to take that energy and we're going to put it to work. So go ahead and reach your arms out around to the side and tap your fingertips together. Hopefully you can see my fingertips. Spread your fingertips wide, your palms are apart. See if you can line your elbows up so that they're parallel to the ground. It's coming right out from where your shoulders are. Pressing into those fingertips, start to squeeze the energy from your fingertips into your wrists. Work that energy out towards your elbows. And then from your elbows, you're connecting the energy into your shoulders. When you get to your shoulders, lift your chest and press your shoulders down a little bit deeper. Sit up a little bit taller in your spine and find your shoulder blades. Deep breath in, exhale, press it out. As you're squeezing here through the whole upper body, press deeper into your heels and now activate into your calves, right up into your knees, through your thighs, and then into your hips. From here, you're going to hinge forward, keeping a straight line through the back of your neck by keeping your chin parallel to your chest. And now press right up into your heels. Find all of that heat, that energy that builds up into your glutes. Now take a big deep breath in, and on the exhale, lean back. Now you want to lean back just a little bit farther back than sitting up straight. Whatever feels comfortable for you. Continue holding on to all of those muscles, especially in and around your lower core. Another deep breath in, come back up to center, bring your arms down by your side. You can even move your heels out a little bit wider. This works great if you're in an office chair, as long as the office chair doesn't have sides. If it does have sides, lean a little bit forward, and then you're gonna tap it out, heel to heel. So you're pressing up, so as I reach down for the left heel, I'm really pressing back up into my left heel. And then again on the right, you're doing the same thing on the right. And if you're able to sit up tall, you can also do it here tall. So something as simple as this, you're just reaching down one side to the other. Feel a crunch in one side, feel a stretch in the opposite side. Light movements here. So maybe you superset these side to side. 2 more times, 1 more. Come up to center, bring your fingertips, squeeze in, and then maybe you do that forward fold, hold it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then sit up nice and tall, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and relax your fingertips down. You can roll your shoulders back. Sometimes just moving around into those shoulders can help out. We got those champion arms. So for all of you amazing ladies who spend some time sitting at your desk, set an alarm every hour. You can just champion arm yourself. So really press up like you're lifting 1,000 pounds, pull down like you're pulling down 1,000 pounds. The more energy and squeeze you put into this muscle, the more challenging you make it for yourself, the more results you're gonna get. Let's do 2 more. Last one, push up and pull it down. Squeeze the back muscles here. So you can hold, we call this W arms. You can hold and find the squeeze. So I could just sort of put my arms here, or I could like squeeze my arms there. Try to find that squeeze here. Keep breathing, inhaling and exhaling. And last but not least, relax those palms down, bring your feet a little bit closer together. We're gonna do 10 of these. You're about to find out how challenging it can be to sit and stand. If you do have a rolling chair, I would recommend to switch out of a rolling chair, or just be real careful on your sit and stands, like hold on real tight when you go to sit. But we're gonna reach our fingertips forward, press up through your heel, stand, and then we're gonna inhale, reaching forward, sink down into your glutes and sit. That's 1, we got 9 to go. Jump in whenever you're ready. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Just mindfully standing and then mindfully seated. We're squeezing into the glutes, lower down, take it nice and slow. And we're gonna do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and if you do want to make the sit and stand more challenging, go back to your pressed in fingertips, try your last one. Stand and sit. So you guys can all sit back down and have a seat. I'm going to show you 1 full body movement, starting standing up nice and tall, again with those fingertips squeezing together. Sink down, bend slightly into your knees, don't be shy, stick those glutes way out, back and behind. Squeeze up from your heels. You can hold this 5 minutes a day. You are working every single muscle in your entire body. as long as you're finding the squeeze, the resistance, creating that tightness and tension here, long through the spine, lifting your chest. We'll even work your neck. So if you are on mute, you can pop off. The only other action mode we're going to take today is, I'm going to set this thing back up so I can join you in the group. So the only other action mode today is I'm going to send you guys on a scavenger hunt to find energizing food for the rest of the day. So see if you guys can find foods that are high in nutrients and great energy sources, and then be mindful about how you feel when you give your body that right fuel that it needs to get all of your spring cleaning done. And then what a relief it will be when it is all over. So
That was awesome. I had to laugh when we were all doing the side to side. I'm like, this is when I should take the picture.
Yes, exactly. Any questions, feedback, or how does everyone feel?
Oh,
Moving around a little.
that was
It's really
wonderful,
helpful.
Jennifer. Thank you.
Really
Yeah.
helpful, Jen.
Great, great.
Amazing.
Really awesome.
I'm
I'm
a time-
always impressed by
Yes.
in the classes that when Jennifer, she always shows like multiple, you know, what I'm saying, modifications. And because I had surgery a number of years ago and a subsequent injury. And so I'm at ground zero, you know, starting over again. But what blows my mind is like, you know, you're saying like just something this simple, and there's some couple things that she does. It's so simple and it's such a workout. Like it's amazing how much all the little muscles, and I will say, I appreciate the way you do it, Jennifer, because I don't walk out feeling like I've been hit by a bulldozer. I feel like everything's gotten the work, but we do so much breathing, you know, so it feels really good. And yeah, so now I'm inspired to put more stuff around my desk, working out by my desk.
And then Deb, I'm gonna throw you under the bus real quick. Have you tried the champion arms? I put her on task for that.
Yeah, no, I've been really bad about it. I was initially really good, but then it's one of those things that you forget. So it's like, if I don't set that little timer, I have to set a timer or it doesn't happen. But I can feel it's amazing. Like I have so much limited movement in my shoulders compared to where it used to be, because it's all computer work, right? I'm on the computer. Before I'd have driving, but I realized how much this whole past year has like done this. So even like to try and get my arms up straight without feeling tension in my neck is almost impossible, because things have to get strengthened up and moved again. So like, yeah, I gotta put my arm exercises in at the desk.
I don't know what I just did. I'm not good with technology, but I just put all my information in the chat. If anyone wants to read,
Perfect.
feel free. Yeah.
I'm saving that, and then the video, I'll stop recording in a sec. That will be up on YouTube. I'm gonna connect with Lisa tomorrow morning so that we can get everything squared away. But that was awesome, Jennifer. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I definitely had a ball. And again, I just want to point out, I am sort of a time hog with presentations, so I hope I didn't sort of meddle.
No, you're right on. You're right on.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, this was perfect, Jennifer. Thank you so much.
Great. Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, great seeing everybody.
Thank you.
Everybody have a